If you like lists and you like rankings, then you're going to love what we're doing today, okay? Because we are ranking the top 23 players under the age of 23 in the NHL right now. This was, I think, the toughest list we've ever had to do. We're going to get some just caveats out of the way because everyone is going to have problems with our list. I already know it.
We're going to get absolutely ripped.
We are going to get absolutely shredded.
But who are you to critique our list? Like, why is your under 23 so much better than us listeners? Yeah.
Hey, everyone's got their opinion. We love when you share your opinion in the comments especially. But how we did this and how we kind of came about this, first of all, a ton of young players are just lighting it up right now in the NHL. There have been a bunch of first-year players that have caught our attention. There have been a bunch of players that have taken that next step, year 2, year 3. So we decided that, you know what, it's too early into the season to maybe talk about some big-picture teams. We'll wait until the coming weeks to do that. But let's talk about some young players right now and rank them because we love doing that. How we did this, we're trying to keep this as the best 23 players under 23 right now. It's not like a career projection of how they're going to look when their careers are over. It's right in this moment. Naturally, with young players, you're going to probably bake in some projection to your opinion, and I think that's fine. But for everyone watching, just know that like this is not entirely based on projection. This is, if we're going to put like a number to it, maybe like 75 to 80% of what we see right now versus maybe like 20% what we see in the future from them and their areas of growth, development, things like that.
I think a fair example is like, we don't know each other's list, but like Michael Misa.
Yeah.
Not in our list. If it was a projection video, he would definitely be in the top 23.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Zimperak, guys like that. But just haven't played enough in the NHL.
But there will be some players who also haven't played that much in the NHL that are maybe already showing what they're capable of.
sure.
And that like you're almost projecting like this is, I think they're going to be really good this season as well and keep up what they're doing right now.
And a guy like that, like an example, maybe Beckett Seneke, right? Like he
100%.
could be in that conversation based on what we've seen in his first year or some of the younger guys that are making their debuts.
100%. Yeah, I think Beckett's a great player.
See if you had him in yours.
I don't know. I guess we should just get started, right? Like we have not heard each other's lists. I think normally when we do this, we try and just like organize it a little more because we want to have some footage, we want to be buttoned up on this, but we kept this completely a surprise. So how we're going to do this is we're going to go 5 players at a time, and then the top 3 will end it. So we're going to start right now with 23 to 19. Who wants to kick us off?
I feel like you were going to make me start because where I'm sitting at the table, and it's just like naturally the order, and I'm nervous.
So kick it off.
I'm very nervous for this, but we'll just hop right into it.
Kick it off, man.
Number 23, I've got Logan Stankoven. And I'm not saying these with my chest because I'm just waiting for you guys to be like, I had him way higher. This is why we play.
Like we all have our own list, and don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'll list. Number 22, I got Zeev Buium. Number 21, I got Beckett Seneca. 20, I got Ryan Leonard. And 19, I got Jimmy Snuggerud.
All right, we've got the first 5 for you, Pac. Jesse, your first 5 on this list.
All right. I'm going to go with Beckett Seneca, Zach Bolduc, Brant Clark, Logan Stankoven, Jimmy Snuggerud.
Okay.
Sweating.
This is a tough one, man. This is a really tough list. My first 5. Emmett Finney at 23.
Wow.
I got Jackson Blake at 22. Zeev Buium 21. Brant Clark at 20. And Frank Nazar at 19. Okay, couple things I'm going to get right off the bat. You both had Logan Stankoven in this range. Jesse, you had him you swapped it, so you have him at 21 now?
Yeah.
Correct?
I believe
and then
so.
Pac, you had him at 23 coming in on your list. So a couple of guys that you guys had similarly on your lists in similar ranges. I have him a little higher. So just Logan Stankoven. Let's start the conversation there.
I think he's a great player. He's one of the more proven players on this list. He obviously got rewarded with that huge contract. He's done it with 2 teams already. So it's great. I feel like this is where maybe projection is playing a small factor in my mind, just because the guys I had ranked in front of him, although it's a smaller sample size, I feel like I may have already seen that higher ceiling in them. And Stankoven, like, he's a great player. Anyone who's on this list is a great player.
Yeah.
And I'd love to
Even
have
players
this guy
not on
for
this
closer.
list are great
Yeah, of course.
100%.
As we're going to find out, yeah.
But, he's a little bit smaller, and I don't know. I just feel like I'd like the guys ahead of him just a little bit more.
He also, like, I thought, I was kind of expecting more points per season from Stankoven. He hasn't, like, statistically been incredible. I think he's a great player, and he's going to be very valuable for Carolina. And it's pretty... He's a guy that, like, he seems like he's already been in the league for like 5 or 6 years. That's, although he hasn't, obviously, but I guess that's why, he's a great player. But again, there are so many good players on this list.
I think the production's the thing that surprised me about him too. I think when we talk about Stankoven and we talked about him as a trade piece coming back in the Rantanen deal, there was a lot of excitement, obviously, but you really are, and because I have him a little higher, you're really projecting out a little more production from him. And being a smaller player, I think he's in the perfect situation in Carolina to do that. And I think you kind of see that with Jackson Blake, who he plays with on a line in Carolina as well. 4th-round pick, Stankoven a 2nd-round pick. Carolina always seems to find these guys that are maybe a little more undervalued, undersized, and they get the most out of them. The question now, though, is like, is he going to be a 50-point player, a 60-point player ever in the NHL? I don't know the answer to that. I think, like, he's got the ability to. I think he's a really smart player. He plays a lot bigger than his size. I think that's something that really sticks out. He's skilled.
So skilled.
He's a natural leader. We saw him in Kamloops up close at the Memorial Cup. Such a good leader for that team as well. And so I think Carolina has very big plans for him. But at the same time, I think it's a fair question to ask. Is his production ever going to top like a 50 to 60 point guy? If it doesn't, that's okay still. That's a really good player. But to be on this list and to be a little higher, you want a little more than probably 50, 60 per year than what we're going to be talking about with some other guys. Another guy I want to mention that you both had, Jimmy Snuggerud. Yeah. I didn't have him on my list, but he was in and around there, and I totally understand why you guys did. What do you like about his game so much to put him on this list?
Just feels like he's got a nose for the net. Like, he just knows how to score goals. He was so good in college too, and he's come into St. Louis and he's already making a big impact.
It's just a good fit. Yeah. St. Louis too. I don't know. I feel like he fits in like a real, like a significant piece of a puzzle there. And also, I will just say, like, personally, I remember watching him at the World Juniors a few years ago. Man, this kid can rip the puck like few people in the league. Like this, he has an unbelievable shot. I think it's going to be used to his advantage throughout his entire career. Specifically as a rookie, I think he's already getting like some good minutes with the Blues. And again, that's one of those weird guys. It's like he doesn't have a huge sample size, but like he already has 3 goals. He is just, I think he could easily finish with like 20 to 30 goals this year, maybe even closer to 30 goals. And another guy, speaking of goal scorers, that I had on my list that I doubt you. I mean, I'm guessing you guys don't have Zach Balduke on your list.
I don't.
No.
And that's one for me that I struggled with a little because he was like literally right at 23 for me. I just think like this guy already potted 19 goals as a rookie. He's already on pace to probably be another 20 goal scorer again. This guy could be like a really, really good goal scorer. Like he's already a good goal scorer. And yeah, I think he's already just like, he's fitting in really nicely with the Canadians.
That rookie season, too, I think he had finished with 19 goals, but I believe 13 of them were in the final 27 games, something around that area. So it's like very encouraging when you see a young player just significantly make progress throughout his first season, and then already in Montreal
pick up where they left off.
Start that he was off to. Some of those goals were just like right place, right time, in front of the net, deflection. But those are goals that go in for good players that put themselves in those situations. So yeah, it's been great to see him. Tough omission for me, I guess, but yeah.
So well, for me, like I'll just be straight up. Like I love Beckett Seneca. Like I love him. He's great, and like I think by next year, if I did this list again, he'd probably be pretty high on my list. It's just like, and do I think he'll be a better player than Balduke eventually? Yes. But like, and I know it's not because it's weird because I'm already talking about Snuggerud and Seneca's already looking good on the Ducks, but I feel like Seneca's like, I just want to see like a little more from him. I don't know. Whereas Snuggerud,
totally
like, You know, like Snuggerud, and like I know Seneca dominated at junior, but like Snuggerud went to the World Juniors, was like one of their best players at the World Juniors, won gold there, like went to college, was a dominant college player, already with the Blues. Like he just seems a little more mature right now, and I think when Seneca is like at that stage that Snuggerud's at, he's going to be so dangerous.
And look, this take for Beckett as well, because I don't have him on my list, and I think very early in his career, like you said, but this take could age like milk in 2 months, where he's still on that top line with McTavish and they're still dominating and he's adding in and around a point per game. This take is going to look dumb and Ducks fans are going to be on us, and rightfully so. He's a really good player. Yeah. But at the same time, like you said, we have seen
4 games.
Or
5 games. It's been 5 games.
And we've seen that from a Ducks team as well that is just like, they've been kind of scoring in bunches right now. Yeah. That could dry out very quickly.
Yeah.
That could continue. We don't know what type of team the Ducks are right now. I think we are all admitting, though, we really like what we see from him specifically. Coming in, I think he was a surprise pick in that spot where they got him, obviously,
surprised him,
based
at
on
least.
his reaction.
Yeah.
And so I think you are right in your skepticism with just like wanting to give this a little more time before putting him on this list. And you're also right with having him at 21 because I can understand that. You've seen a lot from him already. So it's kind of finding that balance for sure that makes it fun. Red Wings fans, I just want to mention it before we kind of get into it. Evan Finney's been unreal. 7th round pick. I did want to just have him as the last one on my list, but he's playing on the top line. I think that's just the highest praise you can have for a 7th round pick, and he's producing 5 points in 6 games. Again, very early, but you like what you see from him as far as his game goes. He's a really fast player, and just to have that responsibility with a coach like Todd McClellan, who blasted his team after that loss to Montreal and now is promoting a 7th round rookie to play on this top line with Dylan Larkin and Lucas Raymond. I don't think that happens if you're not ready for it. And the fact that this guy is ready for it and is taking advantage of the moment has just impressed me so much every time I've watched him. So wanted to shout out the Red Wings player there before they get all on us and me specifically about
Luca loves shouting out the Red Wings.
Not liking their team.
They've won 5 in a row.
They've won 5 in a row. Let's go on to 18 to 14.
Alrighty.
And another note that I should mention, we don't have Owen Power on this list. The reason we don't have Owen Power on this list is because his birthday is literally in like a few weeks. We decided that we're not going to put him on. There are some 22-year-olds on this list that turn 23 in like January, February. I think that's a little more of a launching pad to at least highlight them. Whereas Power, his birthday is in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. That it's just like, it doesn't make sense to have him on this list right now. Alrighty. Pac, kick us off, 18 to 14.
At number 18, I got Cutter Gauthier. At number 17, I got his teammate Mason McTavish. 16, I got Shane Wright. 15, Will Smith. 14, Leo Carlson. A lot of Ducks.
A lot of Ducks. And rightly so. I think
Interesting.
I think they're a really good young team. All right. Pac, you gave us your 18 to 14. Jesse, you're up.
All right. Will Smith, Shane Wright, Juraj Slafkovský, Frank Nazar, Zeev Boyum.
Okay, we got some heat going on here. I've got Simon Edvinsson at 18, Logan Stankoven 17, Demidov at 16, Will Smith at 15, and Leo Carlson at 14. Okay, so we've got some variants here for sure. Let's start with Zeev Boyum because we've already revealed him in ours. He was, if I'm not mistaken for you, Pac, number...
I'm at 22.
You had him at 22, and I had him at 21. You have him at 14. Is this more of a... Because he's another one that this is his first kind of taste in the NHL. He played in the playoffs last year against Vegas, but first season in the NHL, is this one for you that you've just seen enough already to know that, like, hey, he's going to be a number one defenseman. He's going to be really good?
So I've... seen a lot of Zeev.
Yes.
Like, I've seen Zeev
World
at
Juniors.
2 World Juniors in a row now. He's been, arguably the best defenseman for the team both years. That includes when he was, I'm pretty sure, the youngest player on the team the year before. He was for sure the youngest defenseman. He's already coming to Minnesota. He's helping their power play out. He's going to be a complete beast for them in the future. He's so mature. Physically, he has everything. He's an incredible skater. He's an amazing shot. I think he's already there. Like, I think Zeev Boyum is going to be an amazing defenseman. I think he's already a great defenseman. Like, this is a guy who could finish the season with like 40 to 50 points. on a Wild team that could like really use some help offensively from their blue line. So yeah, I'm a huge Zeev Boyum fan, always have been, and I think he's already there. I do. And there's actually one other player that I was going to bring up with you fellas. You guys both have said Leo Carlsson already. I'm just saying personally, I'm a little surprised that he's not higher on your guys' list. Like I think Leo Carlsson is like literally entering like superstardom. Like I think Leo Carlsson has displayed enough to show me this guy is unbelievable. Who was it? Someone recently, I think one of his teammates was just comparing him to like Evgeny Malkin or something. Like he looks dynamite. So that's just one thing I was going to say.
He was definitely really good, someone that I was like, oh, I got to get him higher. Should be there. But then also the guys that I have above him are just, I feel like they're in the same position where it's like these guys are on the brink of just taking that next step. They've scored, 60 some odd points in a season. They look really good. It's tough. We're at the point now where, I have him at 14. So the guys above him are like elite of the elite of young players. For
him, it was more about role, where he's not playing on the top line. And it's not like a major indictment on him because out of all the Ducks players, as we'll see in the next kind of thing, like I have Mason McTavish one spot ahead of him. And the reason I put him ahead of him one spot is because he plays on the top line. There's a little more... I feel like there's a little more production.
Those top two lines are kind of interchangeable.
I have him the highest out of all the Ducks.
I don't disagree. Yeah. I like what I've seen from McTavish a little more, but I don't disagree that Leo Carlsson and even maybe by the end of this season we could be talking about him as that guy of like he is the best Ducks forward out of this group. Like the potential should be there, and that's what you drafted him in the spot you did for 100%. I just couldn't put him ahead of McTavish at the moment based on just like production-wise, McTavish has been pretty solid. I think he's a really good playmaker. I think he's got a wicked shot, tough guy. Yeah. Carlsson, I just need to see it a little more. But the role for me was a big one where it was just like, all right, they've established that top line. They haven't broken it up at all through 5 games at all. Like McTavish, Seneca, and Cutter have played together the entire season so far.
It's a fun line.
They've been one of the best lines in hockey as far as the expected goals goes. Expected goals for. They're leading the Ducks with 5.1. So like they've tried to change up the lines a little with who they're putting Carlsson with, and maybe that's more of a compliment to him of like, hey, he can handle it. He can play with anybody. You're getting him to play with the Kreiders and the Killorns and the Terrys of the world. And maybe it's
Kreider right now.
Kreider's been amazing, but maybe you won't see Carlsson produce as much as the 3 guys on that top line because of it this season. And so maybe your opinion of him changes a little bit because of that. I don't want to hold it against him too much, and that's why I had him right beside McTavish. But I think you're right. I think like the sky is the limit for that guy. Zeev, for me, that was a tough one because I think this season is going to be maybe just like he's really good on the power play, and the defensive side of his game is going to take a little more time. And that's why I had Edvinsson ahead of him, truthfully, is because like he has come in as a young player and really established, like he's been asked to play with a rookie in Sandin Pellikka, and they have looked really good. He's a responsible defenseman in his own end of the ice. I think the future of Detroit defense, they want him and Seider to eventually play together, I'm sure. And I think if that's your number one pairing, that's a potential Stanley Cup winning pairing right there. Like I would trust those guys and hitch my wagon to those guys and be very happy as a Red Wings fan based on what I've seen. So that's kind of where my head was at with Zeev compared to some of these other guys. And it's not to say Zeev won't get there because I think he can be a complete defenseman in this league, and he's like the modern day defenseman.
Mm-hmm. I don't know where your head was at with Ivan Demidov over there. What do you have him at, 16?
Like 10 16? Let's chill here a little. The potential's there.
We'll talk about
Absolutely, the potential's there. He makes 2 highlight reel plays a night that you're just like, I don't think any other player in the NHL can make that. Let's see them do it like an entire season first. Okay?
Also, I think Luke and I both said Frank Nazar, but I don't think
I've not said him.
You haven't said him yet.
Okay.
Yet.
Interesting. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, and yeah, we'll get to that because I said Nazar, and I'm thinking like, yeah, obviously I have Bedard over him on my list, but like. That was one thing I struggled with. Like, what should the gap be between Connor Bedard and Frank Nazar on this list? Like, Nazar's looked like
He's looked good this season, but I think that like the gap should be pretty significant still. He had 26 points as a rookie in 53 games. I think it was impressive still for sure, but I think the gap is still pretty significant when you're talking about Bedard that's basically been at a point per game his first two seasons.
No, for sure, but like I don't know, man. I feel like if you talk to a lot of Blackhawks fans, they'll be like, look, I don't know. I think people are just really high on Nazar. Rightfully so. Plays with a lot of heart, but Bedard's obviously a more skill player. And that's why I'll be higher on all of our lists.
Rightfully so. Is there anyone else we want to talk about in this range? And also for Nazar, he's got a shooting percentage of like 30% so far this season. So like that's going to go down a little bit. The production might not be a point per game the entire season. So like let's temper expectations with him a little. He's also not playing on the top line, which I find a little surprising. But again, it's early in the season. Lines shift.
I don't know, man. Yes, I get the argument about the top lines thing, but like I also think it's important to like spread your wealth a little bit.
I don't disagree with that.
That's why like the whole thing with like the Ducks, I'm like, and I think it actually speaks more volumes that Leo Carlsson is being put like to play with guys like Killorn and Kreider, who he's like helped. Man, like Kreider's been great. So I don't know.
It's totally fair. I can understand both sides of that coin for sure. All right, I think we've spent enough time on the 18 to 14 range, and now I'm sure everyone watching is kind of formulating who we've got here in the top 13. So let's go 13 to 9 here, starting with you, Puck.
13, we just talked about him. I got Frank Nazar. 12, Juraj Slafkovský. 11, Ivan Demidov. 10, Logan Cooley. 9, Matvei Michkov.
Wow. Already.
Guys, Demidov is box office. That's all I'll say.
He is.
We'll get to everyone else.
Let's go with you, Jess.
I mean, I'm not that far off. What number did you have?
I had him at 9. 11.
Okay, I have him higher than you actually.
Oh, I had him at 9 and then I moved him down.
Okay, at number 13, I have Mason McTavish. At number 12, I have Luke Hughes. At number 11, I have Matvei Michkov. At number 10, I have Ivan Demidov. At number 9, I have Adam Fantilli.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. At 13, I've got Mason McTavish as well. At 12, I've got Juraj Slafkovský. At 11, I've got Shane Wright. At 10, I've got Adam Fantilli. And at 9, I've got Dylan Guenther.
Fantilli at 10?
Fantilli at 10. You have him yet to come still.
I have him high.
You have him really high. And then, Jesse, you had him at 9. So we're kind of in the same range there. We both had McTavish at 13. We both had Slav at 12. So we're kind of...
You had Slav below Shane Wright, though.
I did have Slav below Shane Wright in one spot. And truthfully, I honestly am like, I don't know what to think of Slav. I think he should be so much better for how big he is and how skilled he is. And he just hasn't broken through yet for me. Whereas Shane Wright, like... I was really impressed with what I saw from him last year.
He's great, man.
He has started the season really strong this year as well. I think that like what they want Matty Beniers to be, I think eventually will be what Shane Wright actually is. And he's going to be the better offensive player out of the two of them going forward. I think we all kind of slept on him, truthfully. Like I watched him that Toronto game. Like I think he's just a really good player. He's responsible both ends of the ice. I love what I've seen from him.
You know what? And I kind of almost regret doing it now. I had Shane Wright over Slafkovský on my list originally. I think, man, I like Slav, but I think there's almost sometimes a little too much hype around Slav.
Oh,
there is.
Come on, man.
Dude,
he doesn't have any hype.
Oh, sometimes you make him seem like he's like the demigod.
No, I think we all know now kind of what Slav is.
Good. He's not.
So
like,
what is he? Tell me what he is.
A machine.
Okay.
He's a force. He's a force of nature.
Machine?
No. Honest.
I actually think Shane Wright. Hot take. Like, I think there's like a decent chance. I mean, it's not even that hot of a take. Like, is Shane Wright going to be a better player? He's already starting to look better than Slav.
I think with Slafkovsky's game, keep in mind he's 21 years old. He's also a power forward. Like at 25, he's going to be not like much bigger, but you know how it is at 21 to 25. You really become a man. You fill out. Like he's a great player. He's going to be really good. He's also plays very, very well with Caulfield and Suzuki. Yeah. Just over the last couple of years, watching him with the puck, I think this year, I know it's a small sample size, but the game feels a lot slower for him, where earlier on in his career, it felt like, not that he was playing hot potato out there, but it felt like he needed some adjustment to the speed of the NHL game, and he's a lot more confident on the puck. He's making smarter decisions, and I think he's becoming a much better playmaker in recent years, and he's still playing on that top power play line. He's in front of the net there.
I think you just expect a little more like out of a first overall pick, maybe, and that's
I guess,
why
but
I'm
it's
like,
not every year is the first overall pick like
Yeah.
a Macklin Celebrini or a Connor Bedard, and it just happened
sure.
that like
For sure.
the other players in that draft class like Logan Cooley, Shane Wright, it's not like they've been like head over heels better than him from a
true.
production standpoint. Like
And
Slav has been, I feel like almost just because he was the first overall pick, I think we put him under a microscope.
No, he's been
at
good.
times.
He's
He's been
of
a good
course,
player.
of course. And you're right. He's only 21. Like
Yeah.
True.
he is great, but like
We are picking hairs here for sure.
yeah, he's still on all of our lists. But I also think that Shane Wright is like a really good player. Like he looks really good.
For what it's worth, too, like leads the Habs in individual expected goals for. He's one of their top like Corsi players. Expected
Leads him in like
goals.
shots on target,
Yeah,
hits, all these.
He's
different
been
categories.
unbelievable this year, and I think I might be a little bit of like a prisoner of the moment of Shane Wright's hot start for sure. And
He's good last year.
he was good last
He
year
was.
too.
He
for
was
sure.
good last year.
He was good last year, but I think projection wise, if you are projecting it out, where you're like, who has the skill set to be the better player? Slav does, for sure. He does.
sure.
I think we can all admit that in
Yeah.
this conversation that he is a big, strong guy that is so skilled with the puck. Like that guy should be a 70 to 90 point player, probably at the highest end of the outcome.
Playing with those guys too.
Especially playing with those guys, where like Shane
have a
Wright,
good
if you're making the case against him, you're just like, he is not probably as individually as dominant as Slav could ever be, and he probably needs a lot more around him to help him succeed offensively than Slav does individually.
It's coming though with Seattle.
Could be
They've got
coming
some
with
good-
Seattle.
got
They
some
do.
really good players.
Like
coming
right
through the
now, he's
pipeline.
playing with Ryan Winterton and Mason Marchment, and their underlying numbers are really good as a line. I think like, again, you're probably, if you're a Seattle fan, you're hoping at least you get like Patrice Bergeron light from him and Beniers, and hope their offensive games come along in the years.
Burley Catton's coming up. Jake O'Brien is coming up.
Maybe we'll talk about them on next year's list. Who knows? Demidov.
I know.
We have to talk about
I know it's a small sample size.
It's the smallest sample size of all time.
Genuinely though, from his first game, from the playoff moments he had with Montreal, like there are times where he already looks like one of the best players on the ice, and he is 19 years old, 20 years old. Like this guy is so skilled. He's got such a good motor too. Like everything you want in a superstar, I think he has it. From the skill to the shot to the playmaking ability to the IQ. Like
The Canadians are so good.
yeah, like
I hate it, man.
they're
They're
so-
so
Demidov is.
they're so good.
He looks like
man.
a special player. Like
He does.
Watching him and Lane Hudson on the ice together is just. There should be a rule in the NHL. Only one of them are allowed on the ice at the same time because they just look so good.
I'm so interested to see what they build around him on that second line, because you are not breaking up that first line anytime soon, obviously. But like in the future, where this Montreal team goes and what their top six looks like is going to be so fascinating. Whether he can carry a line on his own, whether you want to try him with Cole, whether you like, there are so many possible combinations, and it's tough to even think about breaking up Slav and Suzuki and Cole. But like, I don't know, man. That guy's skill playing with those guys too. It's a really good problem to have, I guess, is what I'm trying
Playing
to
with
say.
Oliver Kapanen right now, who leads
who's
all
got 4
rookies.
goals.
Leads all rookies in goals in the NHL.
He's not on our lists, okay?
Hey, he was a
Also,
second round pick. He's doing well.
There's another player that I don't know if it's been mentioned by all of us, who's been mentioned by all of us yet, but the guy I probably struggled with the most on this list, and we were talking about it before, is Matvei Michkov. Like I was like, where do I put this guy? I think I have him at 12. And the reason is because, yes, he's struggling this year, but he had such a good rookie season on just a lousy Flyers team last year.
Not only that, just like the situation with Torts and like limiting his minutes at times, and it's happening even more this year. And it's just like, what do I even do with this guy? Like, I don't know, because 26 goals and 63 points as a rookie coming over is, for that team,
Incredible.
is remarkable.
I know.
Remarkable. And I think if we were doing this in the summer, he'd probably be in what, our top sixes?
Yeah,
I still have him at
and it-
10, and I just feel like
I have him at
he needs
8,
to be.
and it's
Yeah.
just like the first 6 games of this year have left such a sour taste in my mouth. And again, it's probably prisoner of the moment, but I think it's something to talk about because that's all they're talking about in Philly. Every
know.
game, it's asking Rick talking about. He's talking
What's going on
about
here?
what shape he was coming in with, and maybe dealing with an injury and limiting his minutes. Like, what is happening?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what to make of it.
It's very bizarre. And you know what? Like, sorry, I have him at 11, and like him and Demidov, like, I wanted to put Michkov over Demidov, but like you're right. Like, man, Demikov's just Demidov has just shown flashes of that like this guy could be one of the best players in the league and it does look like it's all starting to come together for him to a degree.
Yeah.
So,
But like you guys said, he's in a way better situation right now in terms of the players that he's playing with.
yeah, but
Just to think Montreal could have had Michkov too. But
it-
obviously there was.
But it's weird.
Word.
Again, it's so true. It's like, what is going on with Michkov? Like, it's just kind of bizarre. Like,
I don't know.
There's always stages where like just something, but like you can't deny the skill. The guy's unbelievably skilled.
He is so unbelievably
Yeah.
skilled. And I think that's why we all still have him in and around this range. I haven't said him yet, but I'll say him literally in a second. I have him at 8. So
Yeah.
we all have him in this 11 to 8 range because I think it's undeniable. Like, the talent is there. He came in as a 19-year-old and scored 63 points in his rookie season in that situation. So
Yeah.
impressive to say the least. Hopefully whatever's going on in Philly gets solved. I think the
There's always something.
fact that they're asking questions about Tocchet already is not a good sign. I'm not going to comment on if he's a good coach or not yet because it's been, again, 5 games, 6 games in his new team. So let's move on now to 8 to 4. So we're going to save the top 3 reveal, but let's go 8 to 4. It's just heavy hitters now, but where we have them is going to be interesting.
It just gets harder as we go.
Absolutely,
5
it
along.
does.
Like,
I have one guy in my top 8 that neither of you guys for sure have.
we'll see.
All right.
Number 8, I got Adam Fantilli. Number 7, I got Dylan Guenther. 6, I have Matthew Schaefer. 5, Luke Hughes. And 4, I have Lane Hudson. So a little run on D there.
All right. Jess.
At number 8, I have Dylan Guenther. At number 7, I have Logan Cooley. At number 6, I have Leo Carlson. At number 5, I have Lane Hudson. And at number 4, I have Wyatt Johnson.
Wow. So Matthew Schaefer.
You have Matthew Schaefer
in the top 3.
Give it to me.
Okay.
That's impressive.
I've got Matvei Michkov at 8, Logan Cooley at 7, Luke Hughes at 6, Matthew Schaefer at 5, and Wyatt Johnston at 4 for me.
Okay.
Let's start the conversation with.
The Mammoth?
There are so many guys. Yeah, like let's start with the Mammoth for sure because we've all revealed Guenther and Cooley here. I had Guenther just outside of this range at 9, but let's start with them. And Cooley is the guy that I kind of like. Man, he could be like 4 on this list easily.
He's incredible.
He's an incredible player,
I
and they play together too, which is fun. Like Guenther and him.
I'm so high on Utah. Like,
How could you not be, man?
yeah. They are building an absolute beast of a team right now. And those 2 guys are like leading the charge for them, which is pretty impressive that they're under 23. They also have some great prospects in the system. And like Caleb Desnoyers is going to be like an incredible. He will very well be on this list in a few years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Like those guys, I think we all had Cooley ahead of Guenther. Am I
Yep.
correct?
I had Guenther ahead of Cooley.
You Guenther ahead of
Okay.
Guenther.
A
Wow.
couple spots. Yeah.
Couple spots.
Where did you have each of them?
I had Guenther at 7, and I believe I had Cooley at 11. Is that right?
Yeah.
You had.
I think I had them 4 spots.
you had
apart.
Guenther
It
at
was
7,
close.
and you had Cooley at 10.
I was moving guys everywhere.
I know this was tough.
5 minutes
This was
before
tough.
we started this.
Them 2 specifically were tough too because I think like why Guenther ahead of
I just
Cooley?
gave Guenther ahead of Cooley just because I feel like there's a little bit more of a sample
Scores.
size, and he's a better goal scorer. But Cooley, I would say, to me, has a higher ceiling. And
I would agree.
I think looking back, we were talking about Slafkovský, we were talking about Shane Wright. I think Cooley, I believe we did a redraft podcast once, and I think we had Cooley at 1. And I feel like probably he's the best, highest ceiling out of all those players. I think that's kind of like a fair statement.
I think Cooley, like
give me Slav at 1 still if I'm the Habs going up to the podium.
No way.
No.
Cooley,
way.
he just fits the team. He just fits the team.
Doing that, you're thinking Cooley all.
We just want him on the team.
Cooley last year had a better year than Gunther's ever had in the NHL. So that 2 less goals but 5 more points, and Gunther only played 70 games compared to Cooley last year, who played 75. So a little more games to do it. Production kind of similar.
Talking to some guys who have played with both these guys, apparently Dylan Gunther. I mean, we see it, but Dylan Gunther's shot is unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's got one of the best releases probably in the league.
I mean,
and he's showing it.
Saw it at the juniors so many times in big moments.
He's a junior. Sorry. Also,
but truthfully though, it's so impressive to watch him, and then the skill on display. That goal against Nashville in overtime, where he steals the puck and then dangles the goalie for the OT winner. The playmaking has been on display a little more this year than I've kind of figured with his game. So the fact that him and Cooley play on the same line together, really cool.
Big fan. Big fan of Dylan Gunther, and Cooley's amazing. But one guy who I guess I'm gonna double down on here, and maybe I have him too high, and I feel like I'm gonna be hearing about it a little.
Leo Carlson.
Man, I just so I've been a little more invested in the Ducks this year, because I was high on them going into the season. One of my good friends is a huge Ducks fan, and man, this guy he's so good, and I feel like he might not necessarily get talked about enough because he's on the Ducks. He's a great skater. He controls the puck really well. He's an amazing shot, and again, he's producing on a line with Kreider and Killorn. Pretty sure right now, this guy is so good. I think he's coming into his own. And looking back at that top 3 of Bedard, Carlson, and Fantilli, oh my goodness.
It's a really good top 3.
Disgusting.
I just couldn't do it with the production yet for him. His highest point total so far has been 45. And again,
on a trash
team for sure. Absolutely. But it just I couldn't get there to put him ahead of guys like Michkov that have already they've already proven it. He had 63 points on a trash Philly team and came in and did that in his rookie season. So that was where I couldn't get there with him. But when you watch the Ducks, he is a standout every time he touches the puck.
I think the thing with Carlson too, and one thing that was just a thing about him at the draft is, this guy is going to take, I think, a little bit of time before he kind of hits his stride. But once he hits his stride, he's going to be gross. He's already more than a point per game guy this year so far. We'll see what happens. I mean, the Ducks, I feel like, are going to be a streaky team this year. But he is an amazing player, and I think once he hits his full potential, this guy's going to be lights out. Out.
The other guy, and I guess Pac, me and you kind of had him at similar spots. Luke Hughes, I had him at 6. You had him at 5. Jess, where did you have Luke Hughes?
I had him at 12.
Yeah. You had him a little. So you're a little lower on Luke, which is fair. Defensemen are always tough, and I feel like especially for him, you're unfairly or not probably always comparing him to Quinn as far as production goes, which is again not fair. They play differently, but he's still a pretty darn solid point producer. Great. I think now that he's healthy, he's taken a big stride in what I've seen this year with him, and I think eventually that's a number 1 pairing defenseman. And
he's gonna play with his brother too.
Yeah,
probably 2 years. So
2 lefties
that'll be
there.
fun to watch. Yeah, put them together. Why not?
I think he's more than deserving of a top 10 spot. Totally understand if he's outside of it for you though as well. But just wanted to mention Luke as well.
There's just so many guys. Man.
There's just so many guys. Where do you put them, and do you value defensemen over forwards? There are so many different arguments and factors that come into play here.
Well, I have one defenseman higher than both of you guys.
You do. I have him at 5. You have him at 3. But let's not waste any more time. Let's get into our top 3.
All right, at 3 I got Wyatt Johnson. At 2 I got Connor Bedard, and at 1 I have Macklin Celebrini.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what? At 3 I'm going to go with Matthew Schaefer. At 2, I'll go with Connor Bedard. And at 1, I got Macklin Celebrini.
Wow. I'm surprised that none of us have Bedard at 1, but I have the same top, or kind of similar top 3. I had Wyatt at 4, so I have Lane Hudson at 3, I have Bedard at 2, and then Celebrini at 1. I'm surprised that you don't have Lane Hudson in your top 3. I'm shocked. You have Demidov in the top 10.
Too much of a homer.
I don't think that's a homer thing.
Wyatt Johnston is like a 70, 75-point guy consistently. He's been in the league for a while now. He's also a little bit older. Like, this guy is on one of the best teams in the league, and he's one of their star players. So I feel like when I first put this down, I had him at 1 originally.
He's amazing.
I was moving people down. I'm like, I think Celebrini's already shown it. Like, I think part of this list is, and maybe I weighed less into projections. I had Wyatt Johnson at 3.
Okay.
Lane Hudson, I had him at 4. Like, he is a phenomenal player. Like, I called Demidov box office. I'll give him that sort of same tagline. But he's a defenseman. He's a little bit undersized. Doesn't always play like it, but I'm not going to sit here and say he's the best defenseman in the world in his own end. And I think that's something that matters a little bit. So that's why I had him at 4, which is still like incredible praise.
How about that Matthew Schaefer?
I know that's incredible praise. Matthew Schaefer at 3. I couldn't put him ahead of Hudson yet, just based on how good Wayne's season last year was. But it was an easy choice to put him ahead of Luke Hughes. Like, I think what we've seen as far as just...
He's playing like 25 plus minutes a night. Like,
he's an 18-year-old coming into the NHL.
Point per game guy on the worst team in the league. Like,
it's ridiculous, man.
It's unbelievable.
And to do it with Patty Waugh, who, like, I'm so happy that Waugh is just like, just go out there and play. Like, I'm going to run you into the ground in your rookie year. You are going to fail or succeed or whatever, but you are going to see everything that the NHL has to offer. And I'm not going to limit your minutes. I'm not going to punish you for making mistakes. Like, we are going to live and die with you doing whatever it is you're doing on the ice. I think that says a lot about him as a coach and a lot about Matthew Schaefer as a player, because it takes a special player to come into the league to do that with.
I completely agree. And I think that, like, you think about Matthew Schaefer on the Islanders and you're like, I could just see this guy being the next captain of that team and this team going on deep runs and potentially winning a cup with this guy. I don't know. Like, this guy is unbelievable.
He's so good.
He's like the next coming. I don't want to hype him up too much, but like, we keep hearing it. I don't think no one's going to be like Makar, but like, his skill, his skating, like he's got his shot, he's got everything. He's got all the tools to be just insane. He's already displaying them. Now, one thing I will say that is interesting, all of us had Celebrini over Bedard.
Yep.
But I think we're basing that a lot off of what we saw in Macklin's, last season, Macklin's rookie year. But if you look at this year, Bedard has actually been playing really, really well for Chicago, and Celebrini has, like, just to start the season at least, has not been quite as good. And you could definitely make an argument that Bedard has been better than Celebrini this year. And the reason why that's relevant is because these could be two guys competing for a spot on Team Canada this year.
Yep.
So
both at a point per game right now. Celebrini's played 2 less games than Bedard, but I think, like, you just see a Bedard highlight every night that you're like, okay, like, this is the Bedard that, like, we signed up for.
Something's different this year, man.
Yeah.
He's also like grittier. Mm-hmm. He's like,
that's been noticeable for sure. Where, like, he's getting into scrums every night, and he's just not taking crap from anyone this year.
Here's the thing again, though, like, and I'll bring it up again because I'm curious to honestly know from Chicago fans, because I think that, like, even though they're still on my list at least like 12 or 13 spots apart from each other, like, obviously Bedard is the better player than Nazer, but, like, I think Chicago fans are, like, super high on Nazer right now, and all this guy does is just show up and
that makes sense.
And play hard. Like, he's so skilled, man.
He's on a heater to start the season.
And he's
like,
fun. He's a fun player, too.
Yeah.
Like, you see he's like, in a scrum after he scores, and he's, like, celebrating along.
Yeah,
like,
incredible.
Like,
that was the funniest thing.
Such a
he's
funny
a marketable, fun personality that you can, like, easily root for as well.
But, like, he's a guy that, like, his trajectory just keeps going up and up and up and up. Like, I don't know. Like, are we? I know we talked about, like, I've been seeing people say, like, is this guy potentially going to crack Team USA? I mean, probably not.
That was your bold take. Maybe it's you that said that.
It was some genius. Like, I think his name probably wasn't on that 44 player list or whatever that already had to be submitted. But it's like, this guy's been playing so well, and especially on, like, a bottom 6 role on a team like Team USA, like, I feel like he'd be a nice spark plug. I don't know.
Like we mentioned it last time, he has represented Team USA at the World Championship. So
that's right, and
he was great. He's a point per game player there, I'm pretty sure. So there is some history there. I'm surprised that all 3 of us had Celebrini over Bedard, and I think that's probably maybe controversial.
I think the whole Bedard Celebrini discourse goes back a lot to the fact that, like, if you put their seasons together, obviously last year Celebrini was a little bit better than Bedard, but I think a lot of this was, and it's weird to say this with a first overall pick like Celebrini, but there was almost a shock factor with this guy when he came into the NHL, just because he didn't quite have the hype that Bedard was, and that he was so good so early on. And I think that completely put him up here in our minds. Whereas Bedard, this is probably the most hyped prospect that we've seen, I guess, since McDavid, but Bedard
even
had
since Laugh, like
so
Laugh was
much
pretty hyped too.
I think Bedard had a little bit more hype.
I think
What
Bedard
is-
had more
But
hype.
Laugh did
But
have
Laugh
hype.
did have a lot of hype, and like you mentioned Bedard, like the World Juniors helped. When he
Yeah,
had
exactly.
23
And it was all big
points.
moments. I feel like we almost punished, and I said this in the tier list, I feel like we're being too harsh on Connor Bedard. And it's almost like we punished him because he didn't have 105 points as a rookie.
He's number 2 on all of our lists.
I know, I'm just saying.
It's pretty
like-
good, actually.
But I think you're right. In the minds of people, it's just like, and even in the minds of NHL players, where I think a list like the one that came out this summer of who would you, well, I forget
Who
exactly.
would you take to like build your team around, I guess?
or who's going to be the face of the league
Yeah,
in
it
like
was
10 years
Celebrini.
or whatever. And everyone overwhelmingly voted Celebrini after one season of playing against him. And so
I love.
I think we want to get
you
these
want to
guys are also
side with the
19 years
players
old.
on that, right?
I absolutely love Connor Bedard.
I do too.
I love him. Have been for since he was in junior. Such a fan of his. But you know what? This is no
It's not a
knock
slight.
on him. It's like Celebrini's just amazing. He was so good last year. Probably flashed. It's like, we could have said someone could have said Bedard and Celebrini at 1-2 and like whatever. Like I wouldn't even think anything of it. But like
Just as easily as we said it now, in the end of the season, we could be looking back and being like, yeah, Bedard's better than Celebrini.
Yeah.
yeah, and in the same breath, like, I mean, is it crazy? Like, man, I think of a guy like Logan Cooley
Or Demidov.
or Cooley. Like, is Cooley that far off of Bedard right now? Like, I don't think so. Like, Cooley's incredible.
Slav. Is Slav that far off
I
from
think
these top guys?
I think what we've learned here is that there are a lot of really good players that are 22 and under in this league.
I originally had Ken Johnson on my list, but found out he was 23 mid-show. So sorry about that, guys. Sorry.
We found out that Ken Johnson is 23, in fact, and that a lot of good players in the
What an
league
asshole.
are 22 years old and under, and the league is in just great hands going forward. There are so many players that are just going to be replacing guys that we grew up with, the Malkins of the world as they age out.
Leo Carlson.
You've got the Leo Carlsons who you compared to him coming in. So it's great to see. I think everyone is going to have an opinion on this list. So if you do, let us know your opinion, your take, your list. Like and subscribe. And Jesse's got one more thing to say.
Who's one player that you guys didn't include looking back that you think you should have included on your list? Because I think Edvinsson was a good pick.
Yeah,
Like, I think
Edvinsson was pretty
Edvinsson
good.
I probably would have stuck over like Bull Duke on my list.
Yeah, like he's not flashy, but
I didn't have Brand Clark. Like,
it's a fair one too.
Beckett
Beckett for me, maybe. Like I had Jackson Blake on there. Probably could have had Beckett based on more just a little bit of a future projection, but
my list was the best, so I really...
Pox list was the best. He was the most worried about it, but it was the best.
It was
so
the best,
That's all that
so I don't really have many regrets.
And Ducks fans, like, let us. Maybe I overrated Carlson here. Like, let us know in the comments. I'm very curious to hear what people have to say about him because I think that's probably going to be one of the more polarizing names on the list.
See you guys.
Bye. That's how we're ending.